Hey, y'all. Today we're talking about Cabinet of Curiosity, episode 3. Yeah, 3. So we start off with Dr. Carl Winters, an elderly forensic pathologist suffering from stomach cancer. And unfortunately for him, it's terminal. So he travels to a small town to perform autopsies on a group of 10 men killed by an explosion in a coal mine. Dr. Winters' friend, Sheriff Nate Craven, recounts the events that led up to the explosion, and it leads them to a group of missing people. So it's about 6, 7 missing people. So Craven and his deputies, they get onto a suspect, and also there's some point they find a body, and the body is completely, it doesn't bleed. It's like picked clean, and they don't really understand how this happens. It's not something that you see every day, especially with a murder victim. It's not that it's sliced up. It's just emaciated in a very strange way. So they lead themselves to a suspect called Elliot Sykes. And this man is one of the people who's also gone missing. So he's at this neighborhood bar, and somebody from the coal mine recognized him. He's like, "You're my friend. Why did you leave?" And the guy's like trying to pretend like he doesn't know the dude. And he's like, "Oh, no, I'm this person. You got me mistaken." So then he convinces the guy to, knock over his drink. And then they leave together. Of course, this guy ends up being murdered as well. So Sykes, eventually they follow him to the coal mine. He's working, and the police try to corner him, and he jumps down a mine shaft, and he blows it up. So the guy pretends to be dead. So when they get to the morgue, the doctor is examining him, and then the body starts coming to life and moving, and the doctor's like freaking out, and he's scared. And the Sykes guy reveals himself to be an alien species that, feeds on like humans are their livestock. And he just recently landed on Earth. And the reason why he blew up that mine was to, cover any traces of his ship, because he doesn't want the victims to know about their presence so they don't band against them and all that stuff. And so he's telling the doctor about how he infects the victims and how they're not actually dead. They're kind of like in a comatose state, and they can see and feel everything that this alien is doing. And so he's eating them and devouring from the inside, even though his main hub is no longer in the victim. It's crazy. So, and he likes to talk to his victims as he's devouring them, letting them know. So he's getting off on that torture. And he's telling the doctor, who's a pathologist, about, the pathology and anatomy of his alien species. And they don't have any senses, they can't smell, they can't taste, but they use the host senses to do that. And so the doctor is like, "You guys are deeply flawed." And so he tries to take over the doctor, and the doctor's able to, kill him. So the doctor starts like stabbing himself in the head, slit his throat, stabbed himself in the ear, so that the alien can't use any of his senses. And so when he stabbed himself in his neck, he stabbed himself in the artery of his neck. I think it's the carotid artery. And he starts slowly bleeding out. And so he traps the alien in his mind. And so there's this scene where it looks like a little hell world in his mind, and fire and brimstone. And the alien is like, "Let me out, let me out." And he starts moving the body. But slowly, as the doctor dies, the alien becomes trapped and eventually dies himself. So while all this is going on, the tape recorder is going. And the doctor had recorded the entire conversation with the alien and everything that happened. So a lot of times when doctors, I used to work in a medical lab. And so when doctors dictate, pathologists, they record everything they say when they do the autopsy. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous when I do these things, so if it's scattered, I apologize. So he was dictating his autopsy, and he got everything on tape, the conversation with the alien talking, and then there's also video. And so on his body before he kills himself, because the alien for some reason left one of his hands free, and he numbed up the rest of his body. But the alien said that he needed to do this because he needed some part to connect to that was still viable. So the doctor used his free hands to write in his own blood, burn my body and listen to my tape. And he left that for his police officer friend, Nate Craven, so that he can expose this secret and then other humans would know about it. And that's how it ends with the tape running. Okay, so as far as this, actually, I liked it. It was better than the second one. And I love a good alien story. So I would give it like 4 out of 5 if I were going to rate it. And so it was creepy. Of course, it's grimy and dirty in there as usual. But I would say definitely check it out for yourself, especially if you like alien stuff. So this is another craptastic video. Thank you for listening, and that's all. I'm out.